sexual and domestic abuse are all the subject matters we can all easily admit to exist and are tearing down families and society. But how candid are we in dealing with such matters? How deep are we willing to go in facing and tackling these kind of ills? And when dealing with them, are we at risk of creating new problems? Dis Ek Ana is a South African film that looks deeply and unapologetically and openly at sexual abuse through a young Afrikaner family. The film, which is based on a 2004 book by Albie Lotter, was particularly created with the hope of getting young girls who are in similar situations to first realize that they are not alone and to get them talking. But as real life would have it, Dis Ek Ana is currently facing a no under 18 rating from the Film and Publications Board, which might just defeat the purpose. Well, joining us to discuss this further is the director of the film, Sara Blecher. Sara, good morning. Welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning.
All right, brief synopsis. Let's not give this away.
Yeah.
What is Dis Ek Ana about?
Dis Ek Ana is pretty much the story of a young girl who's abused by her stepfather. And, well, I mean, not to give anything away, but she lands up as an adult killing her stepfather. And then there is a court case which takes place afterwards to say, is she guilty, is she not guilty? And it unpacks the story of her abuse.
What was your first reaction to the script when you read it?
You know, to be very honest, when I was given the script right in the beginning, I didn't want to direct the film.
Yeah.
You know, I know too many people too close to me who've been sexually abused by family members. And it terrifies me. It terrifies me to have to think about that, to put myself in that situation, to be able to direct a movie like this.
But you eventually said yes. Why?
Because I think it's something that's incredibly important. I think it's something that, you know, I think one of the big problems in South Africa, with us being such a religious country across the board, you know, in Afrikaans community and black community, is that we silence abuse. We don't let people talk about abuse. And the problem with that is we're protecting the perpetrators. You know, because the thing that they found with perpetrators is they're serial perpetrators. If they abuse one young girl, they're likely to abuse another and another. And if we don't talk about it, we don't ever stop it. We allow the perpetrators to continue abusing these young girls.
For a film that deals with issues of sex and sexual abuse, do you think that the reason that it borders on pornography could be the reason we're not dealing with it?
I don't think the film borders on pornography at all, to be honest. I think the film is incredibly tastefully done. I'm a mother. I've got children. I don't think, I mean, you know, when they said that the film bordered on pornography, I thought it was the funniest thing.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not, you know, I mean, my friends will say, how could Sara ever do pornography?
Yeah.
I'm the opposite kind of person. So I don't think the film borders on pornography. I think that the film hits you incredibly hard. And I think it's the kind of film where you understand what the young girl's going through when she's abused.
How far is the process of rating it?
Well, it's been rated, the film screened at the Durban International Film Festival, so it was rated for that. It wasn't actually completely finished being made. So we've now finished it, and it will be in the process of being re-rated. And we're really hoping for a lower rating, because I think it's critical that young girls can see films like this so that they can start talking about the issues, not feeling like they're alone, not feeling like the mother's telling them to be quiet or the minister's telling them, oh, rubbish, that man could never do such a thing. You know, give them space where they feel like this girl's talking about it, let me talk about it, let others talk about it, and suddenly you realize you're not alone.
Yeah.
1 out of 3.
You have daughters.
Yeah.
What do you think, how do you think they'll react to it?
I mean, my daughter's seen it.
Yeah.
I have 2 daughters. I have a 21-year-old and I have a 7-year-old. So I think the film, I think the 7-year-old, I can't show the film to the 7-year-old. She's much too young. But the 21-year-old, I mean, I think it was really important for her to see it. I think she knows many young girls who've been abused. I think she wants her friends to see it. I think, yeah, I mean, that's...
And, you know, abuse is such a fragile thing as well. But why is it that we don't talk about it. Yes, we're talking about, but we're not talking about it enough. Mothers to daughters, we're not talking to our daughters to say, he shouldn't be doing this to you, this is wrong and this is right. And in most cases, people that are abused, victims, come out and say, but this was my fault. How do we begin to have those conversations with our daughters? I have a 6-year-old, by the way. You know, how do I begin to have those conversations?
I think it's important to begin to have those conversations with 6-year-olds or with my 7-year-old. It's the same thing. If you start explaining to them from a very young age, this is not okay. If a man wants to touch you in your private parts, what can you do? Who can you come to? But you have to make sure that they're safe people that they can go to, and you have to make sure that they're being believed. Because very often these young girls go to their very own mothers and say to their own mothers, I'm being abused. And the mother's like, that would never happen in my house. That can't happen here in our family. And that's the problem. You know, so I think we all as mothers need to make sure that our daughters feel safe to come to us and feel like we will believe them and feel like we will take action to protect them. You know, if your daughter comes to you and says, I've been abused, she's coming to you for help. She's coming to you to say, Mommy, protect me. And if we can't protect our daughters, we in part of the cycle of perpetrating this abuse. And on the story will go.
All right. Sarah, thank you so much. Good luck with the film. Sara Blecher is the director of Das Ek Ana, a local film on sexual abuse with a young Afrikaner family ahead of its release and the Film and Publications Board slapped the film with a no under 18 rating. Well, we're still waiting for that, which begs the question, is restricting a younger audience from seeing the film a form of protection for them on defeating the purpose? Share your views with us. Email us morninglive@sabc.co.za. Let's take a night break. We'll give you sports news after this. Stay with us.